Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This video was made for entertainment purposes and is transformative in nature. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Black World TV, the new black media. Black by popular demand. Family, this video is about Barack Obama, who opens up about the difficulty of being a functioning black person in America and a surprise appearance. Barack Obama made a surprise appearance during a virtual book club for independent bookstore Mahogany Books, stressing the importance of supporting black-owned businesses during Black History Month. Black-owned independent bookstores play a critical role in communities all across our country. Barack Obama says, "I wanted to show my support, so I dropped in to surprise the folk from Mahogany Books and the Very Smart Brothas Book Club." So, without going into criticism of our 44th president, our mixed race president, Barack Hussein Obama, instead, I'm just going to show you the discussion the panel had enjoying the presence of Barack Obama and some of the wise and wisdom Barack Obama showed, as he normally does. I'm not going to go into stressing his legacy because we all know in the black community his legacy is looking like what's put in a toilet. But nonetheless, without further ado, let's go into the video.
Hey everybody. As you all know, we are excited about the book behind us, A Promised Land, and also for members today to be a part of this discussion, an important discussion about an important book. So without further ado, we'll bring on our special guest today.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
So
Hey.
they had scheduled somebody else, but they couldn't make it, so I had to fill in.
Wow.
It's nice to see you guys.
Yeah. Nice to see you.
I wanted to come on here because I thought, well, let's see if we can find a way to support our outstanding African-American independent bookstores. And this was our, you know, I also just wanted to see who the brothers were who named themselves the Very Smart Brothers Book Club.
It worked.
So,
It worked. In order to be president, it seems like you have to have a tremendous sense of optimism. And it seems like you managed to maintain a tremendous sense of optimism even through all the crises and everything that happened. A lot happened during your presidency, brother. So how did you maintain that belief in like our nation's like highest ideals and goals and not fall into the cynicism that a lot of us tend to have as we watch the news, as we deal with neighbors, or in some of our cases with family members that make it hard to believe in all those ideals and goals?
yeah, no, it's a great question. Some of it, I think, Panama, is just temperament. Part of it, I guess, has to do with the fact that I tend to take the long view on things and not the short term. And that's something I had to kind of learn to do. The trick is to be able to have that kind of long-term perspective, but still feel the urgency of now, as Dr. King wrote about. Still feel as if, yes, we've made some progress, but man, what's going on now is crazy and we have to do something about it. Or what happens, you know, when you see a George Floyd or an Eric Garner, that's terrible. That should make you angry. You can't just kind of say, well, it'll take time. You have to feel depressed now and angry now or sad now, right? And trying to keep those two things in mind at the same time, I think, is the biggest trick. To not just being president, but just being a functioning Black person in America.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Hey, I really want to ask you about how you felt with Michelle coming down at the inauguration with her inauguration trip. But yes, I will ask you. Yes. I blew up Twitter.
I was just asking, I was just talking to Ramonda about this. I don't know what it is about y'all with Michelle and her belts. I asked Michelle about it at dinner the other night. I said, listen, baby, you are gorgeous. I understand completely why you are a fashion icon. But I said, was your hair different? Because it didn't look that different.
Her hair was laid. Her hair was laid.
Anyway, so I don't have an answer other than just knowing she looked good and looks better than me. I understand that.
What's your question, Valerie?
Yes, I'm sorry. That was the millennial in me. But yes, my question is, in the early part of your book, you talk about the significance of starting where you are. And oftentimes starting where you are it doesn't seem like the right place. So can you talk more about pushing away those feelings of unpreparedness and uncertainty with that comes with that starting point?
Yeah, now I think that, how old are you now?
I'm 28.
Yeah, I mean, you're so young. I'm trying to remember 28. I was still, Valerie, I was still in law school in 28, right? I mean, I had when I graduated from college, I said I want to work in the community, so I worked for 5 years before I went back to law school. So I was in my second year of law school when I was 28 years old. I mean, it seems like I was a baby. I was just starting. I did not expect to have everything figured out at that point. And I think that, what I've noticed with your generation, Valerie, is I think partly because of the internet and social media, partly because the sense of economic pressure, there's just this constant pressure you guys put on yourselves that if y'all don't have it figured out by 30, that somehow, you're doomed. So first point is, you're right where you need to be at 28. I mean, I'm not getting all in your business about what you're doing exactly, but 28, you're still, the world's still opening up. You still got a bunch of living to do before you even have to lock in on any particular choice of where you need to be. So having some patience with yourself, I think, is important. I had a clear sense of what I thought was important by the time I was your age. What moves you? What's important to you? What are you passionate about? Because if you know what that is, then you'll find a way. You'll figure it out.
The part that really seems to resonate with me from the book is when you talked about the line you said, "Magic beans, baby." Because you think that's what it is, but it's about all the work you do behind it. And I think that's what really kind of sets this book apart. It is about the promised land, but it's about the work that you do behind it, and you make it feel so human. So we just want to thank you so much for stopping by for our book club, and we really appreciate you.
But we very much feel invested in all of your success, and I'll look forward to stopping by Mahogany in person sometime in the future.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Love y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
That was our conversation of Promised Land. We really appreciate everybody. Thank you so much.
Alright, family, one more thing before I sign off here. While this video is about black-owned independent bookstores, I'd like to thank those people who run those bookstores, because without them, I wouldn't have been able to purchase so many of the books that I have in my library. But nonetheless, I also want to thank some of the black YouTubers out there who have recommended some very good books as well. Most of these I've read, some of them I have not read yet, but I will tell you as I go along. So the first one I'm going to talk about is this book, which is called How White Folks Got So Rich: The Untold Story of American White Supremacy. This book was recommended by Vicky Dillard to you. I thank you because, of course, you always give black people very good information. The second book I want to go over is Message to the Millennials. This book is written by Brother Rizza Islam, who is an activist, a speaker, and a humanitarian. This brother shows up, and as a matter of fact, yesterday I happened to catch the Corey Holcomb show, and he was on the panel. This brother is a very intelligent brother. I believe he's part of the Nation of Islam, but nonetheless, this book in particular, I've read it. I would recommend it. It's filled with a lot of very good, detailed information. He is highly intelligent. Well, I'll just leave it at that. Some people don't like him, but nonetheless, I think you guys need to really back up and pump your brakes about this brother, because he brings a lot to our communities. And again, I have to agree with him on so many points. If you haven't walked the walk, you should just be quiet. The next book I'm going to talk about is Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. I thank our brother Grandmaster Jay for his recommendation on this book, because he brought out a very good point about this book, that there is a couple versions of the book. I have the version that has chapter 15 called The Protocols of the Wise Men of Zion. Brother Grandmaster Jay exposed the fact how the publishers have taken this chapter out of the revised edition of this book because they don't want you to know this information for some odd reason. I've read the chapter because I was curious what it is they're trying to hide. You really should read it for yourself and see what I'm talking about. Grandmaster Jay also recommended this next book that I would recommend, called Brainwashed: Changing the Myth of Black Inferiority by Tom Burrell. This book I've read. I would highly recommend all black people to read this book. It covers black relationships and why it is black men and black women are at odds based on our brainwashing. I believe people like, I won't say her name, but she bashes black men pretty much on a daily basis, and then she tries to ridicule you using her big words. I don't fall for it, but nonetheless, this book right here could teach her and many of her followers a good lesson. The next book I'm gonna cover is a book I've seen on Sonnetter's page, and this book is the Book of Khalid. That is the great Khalid Abdul Muhammad. I have not read this book yet, but I do plan on reading it soon. Anyways, this video about Barack Obama and these brothers and their bookstore and Mahogany Books, I love all of you guys. With that, this is Black World TV. Please like and share this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.